is a personal interview? What happens in the personal interview? What is that you should do about it? To talk about it, I start with the first important aspect of the art of advertisements. I am sure may that be a print media like a newspaper or a television media or movie, you have seen advertisements. Whenever I ask anyone what's the purpose of advertisement, many of them give me different answers. I even go to MBA schools. When I ask MBA graduates what is the purpose of advertisement, quite a few of them say that advertisement is all about creation of awareness. It's about promotion. They are right, but they're not completely right. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever awareness you create, whatever promotion happens, if the sale does not take place, advertisement does not succeed. The purpose of advertisement is selling. Why am I talking about advertisement in this video? I am talking about advertisement in this video because, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to advertise. When you go inside the interview room, there is an advertisement that is happening, there is a selling that is happening. Any sale transaction has to have 4 important elements. 1, there has to be a buyer. 2, there has to be a seller. 3, there has to be a product. 4, there has to be a market space. When you go inside the interview room, ladies and gentlemen, that is your marketplace. You are the seller trying to sell yourself, the product, to the company which is the buyer. So one of the first rule which we keep talking about in marketing is know the buyer. So the first rule which we keep talking about in personal interview is know the company. Because once you understand what the company wants, ladies and gentlemen, then you can package yourself as if you are the right candidate, you are the right product. If you are successful in selling the product, that is yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to walk out of the interview room with an appointment letter in hand. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our old and one and the most important goal, the cherished goal. How do we prepare for personal interviews? Let's try to understand what happens in a personal interview. When I use the word personal interview here, I'm going to make an assumption that the company has come to your campus. When I talk about personal interview here, I'm talking about campus personal interview. When companies come to the campus, you do not get too much time to sell yourself. Personal interview probably could be from 5 minutes to 15 to 20 minutes depending on what type of companies you're going to. Companies like TCS, Wipro, Mahindra, all these companies do not have lengthy. The reason why they do not is because they recruit in big numbers. But if you do go for core companies like L&T, if you do go for big companies like Microsoft, ladies and gentlemen, yes, they are going to spend more time with you. You are going to be exposed to multiple round of interviews. But most of the personal interviews mean the same thing. It's the selling. Generally, when the companies come in and the interview is about 5 to 10 minutes, the most important time is the first 1 minute. During the first 1 minute, you will be asked questions, mostly icebreakers. If you can do well in the first 1 minute, your chances of victory will increase. I go to a lot of places, I give a lot of seminars. Ask any speaker, every speaker will certify the fact that the first 1 minute is the most important. Because during the first 1 minute, there's a tension in the air, your heart is beating very hard. The same thing is going to happen in the interview, there is going to be tension in the air, your heart is going to beat hard. If tomorrow the company is going to come, I can assure you, tonight you will not be able to sleep. So tomorrow when you go inside, during the first 1 minute, you are going to be tensed. But the beauty is, every single person who is competing against you, all your friends, all your batchmates, they are also going to be tensed. So the question is not whether you're tensed or not. Question is, how do you react to the tension? Does the tension stop you from performing? Because if it does, then that's the bad news. So what is that we need to do? We need to come out with methods of reducing our tension. And one of the classic ways of reducing the tension, ladies and gentlemen, is by preparing. As I said earlier, the first 1 minute is very important for a public speaker. The same thing is true for you, the person who is going to give for an interview. When you go inside the interview room, you will go with a smile. You will go with a smile because everyone tells you that you need to go with a smile. You are going to go with a smile, you're going to shake hands firmly, you're going to sit with a good body language. But when the questions start coming, if the questions are those which you are prepared for, understand what will happen, there will be a happiness that is going to be within. The tension is going to reduce, the smile is going to become wider. But in case they end up asking questions which you are not comfortable with, which you are not prepared for, and more importantly you are not heard, the tension is going to increase. I can assure you, smile is going to go, sweat is going to come. Therefore, first 1 minute is very, very important. If you can conquer that first 1 minute of a personal interview, after that and you are relaxed, it's a very good chance later, even if they ask tough questions, you will be able to answer and you will be able to answer well. So control that first 1 minute. And this is where the basic questions come into picture. At Condura, we firmly believe that there are 5 questions which are considered to be the basic questions. If you can understand these 5 questions, come out with an answer for these 5 questions, and even practice for these 5 questions, you are actually cementing and helping your case. What are those 5 questions which we call as a basic question? The first and the foremost, the most important of all, tell me something about yourself. I am sure this is one question you have heard your seniors talk about. I am sure this is one question you yourself have given a thought to. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important question which you are going to prepare in your life. The second question which oftentimes comes it about your strengths. Whenever you go inside the interview room, you will realize there are two types of questions that you will come across. Certain questions which are going to help you big time, certain questions which probably are going to pull you down. In the first set, include this one very important question, what are your strengths? It's a fantastic question for you because it gives you a chance to showcase all the amazing things that you have in yourself. But the second set of questions are certain embarrassing questions like what are your weaknesses? How should I answer that? Should I say I do not have a weakness, or should I go on rattling down all the weaknesses I have? Can I lie and say that look, I have a smaller weakness? All these are the questions that you who is going to go for the interview will probably have in mind. How to answer that is something that we will say, but this is a third basic question. The fourth basic question that is asked in most of the companies is your short-term goal. When we do ask about short-term goal, immediately quite a few people say that my short-term goal is to get a job. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not a short-term goal, that's an immediate goal. When you go inside the interview room and they ask you what are your short-term goal, they are actually asking you what you see yourself as 5 years from now. It is not what tomorrow or day after, it's 5 years from now. So you need to understand what sort of answers I can give. You cannot give an answer which does not go in line with what the company wants to hear. For example, can I go to the company and say that I wish to do my MBA and then go abroad? Maybe not. These are the things that we need to be careful for, and these are the things that we will be analyzing when we look at the question of short-term goal. The final answer which we talk about is a long-term goal. If short-term goal is for 5 years, long-term goal is for 15 years. You need to show them a vision. Go to any company's website. Every company website says that they are very clear on vision. Am I very clear what I am going to do after 5 years? Am I sure what I am going to do after 20 years? Frankly, no. But can I tell that to the company? Of course not. Every company talks about vision 2020, vision 2030. Every company likes to have people who have their own visions. So ladies and gentlemen, it's your responsibility to sell your vision. These 5 questions are the basic questions, and you need to prepare for it because there's a very good chance one of these 5 would probably turn up as a first question. Remember what I said earlier, first 1 minute is what you need to control, and first 1 minute is what we are going to control. As we go forward in this series of videos, first we will look at each of these questions. We will see why the company is asking that question. We will then see what type of answers students generally give. We will then analyze it, and finally we will come out with a set of answers which probably would make sense for you to deliver to the company because it matters. Thank you so much.